Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of Chalkboard Chats. My name is Henry, and in this channel, I keep saying in this channel, on this channel, we discuss everything teaching and all in support of teachers. And first and foremost, apologies for my voice and my coughing and snotty nose. I had a speaking test and a student was coughing in my face on Saturday. So now it's Monday and I've been trying to fight this cold for a couple of days now, and it's getting worse. All right. So today I'm going to talk about the parent-teacher meetings from last week. So 2 weeks ago, my students had a test. By the way, all my classes finish at the same time, so it's admin time. Um, but they finished. We had the graduation ceremony, and what we usually do is give the parents an opportunity to speak with the teacher one-on-one if they have any questions. At the end, we have like the test, and then we have some comments. And then there are always parents who just want to, have some extra conversation, extra words with the teacher, which always is fine. Sometimes when the student is like, you know, doing well, following the rules, there are no issues. I'm not really sure what to tell the parent except for well done to the kid, which I'm also saying in the student report. So sometimes I'm a bit like, I'm just repeating whatever I wrote in the student report. But for a lot of parents, it sometimes feels as if it's like they are worried so much and they just want to, have somebody, I don't know, ease their worries and say it's going to be okay. So we offer that. And what's always interesting is that before the graduation, not many parents sign up for the one-on-ones, but always when I stand there and turns out that I don't know, speak slow English so that they're comfortable to have a conversation in English with me. We do have a teaching assistant who will translate, but often I notice that once they've met me, then they sign up for the one-on-one. They're like, oh no, this teacher actually isn't that scary to speak English with. That's what I think. That's what they're thinking. Um, so yeah, we had I had 4 family members who wanted to talk to me. And I was ready for everything. I've had all the things on the spectrum. I've had parents who were really nice, really understanding and curious and talking very lovingly about their children. And I've had mean parents who would blame me and other teachers and TAs for any of the failures, and or who would either be very harsh on their children. So I was ready for anything. I was like, you know what? This is going to be interesting. I've met these parents before. I've met them twice before because I've been with these students now for almost 2 years, I think, maybe even longer. So I was really excited to meet some of the parents who I haven't met before. So I had, here are my notes, by the way. I need to put them somewhere. There we go. Oh. I've met 4 family members. I met a brother, 2 mothers, and a dad. The dad was worried about his son because the dad was like, yeah, I'm worried about his writing skills. So I showed him the test and I said, yeah, the student was mirroring some of his symbols. But at the same time had a very high level of vocabulary and grammar, and he really showed that he understood how to apply the grammar. So the only issue was, sometimes mirroring some symbols. And the dad was like, oh, how do I do this? I was like, give them a book. Read, 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 read. Which is basically my answer to almost everything. How do you learn language? Read. But he was really nice and it was a good conversation. Then there was a mother, and I was so excited to talk to this mother because her daughter was a little bit too young when she moved from the lower level up to this level. And we got a little bit worried because this was around the time that they learn how to read and write. And when she joined this level, she was still in like kindergarten and day school. So they weren't really focused on reading and writing. And then halfway through this course, so like last September, she joined, I guess, grade one, or what the equivalent is. She then turned 6 and started to learn how to read and write. And I told the mother, I said, it was so fun to see that in the beginning, it was before the summer when we started this course, she would have some trouble with reading and writing exercises. But then in October, I think, or maybe even like September, we had a test, and all of a sudden we saw that she was throughout the test looking for how to write the answer, and which is like super smart. And I'm so glad that she got the hint, where you do a test, and of course they use the language and the words that were learned during the course. So all she needed to do was find the word and then copy it. And I told the parent that, and that was like really cool to share that with her. And now that she's finished the test, this time she's really, really starting to read really well. So that was really cool. And the mother was also very glad with the result and the progress. So that was really good conversation. And I love meeting the parents that way because it feels like I'm actually contributing something, sharing something that the parent doesn't know yet. So yeah, then we got into the weird conversation. So I had 4 conversations. 2 were nice and then 2 got a little bit weird. There was a brother, older brother, who showed up. He was worried about his sister, and he said that he was worried, and he was also a little bit complaining. He was like, yeah, she doesn't want to speak English at home. And I said, I totally understand that. It's weird when your family, who is Vietnamese, always speaks Vietnamese, all of a sudden wants to speak English with you. I've had it with my mother where, because I've learned 2 languages when I grew up, I was mixing them. So my mother was like, should I then speak the other language? And it just feels weird. You don't want to do that. It's like, no, just act normal. And so I told him, I said, yeah, but it's in the familiar situation where it feels weird to then speak English, speak a different language if you're not used to it. It can be very uncomfortable. So I told him, I said, don't judge her level by how well she speaks at home, because at home it feels even more weird if she's already shy. And then he was like complaining that she was shy. And looking back, I actually wanted to, you know, take that conversation a little bit differently. I didn't expect somebody to complain that a student was shy. I was like, let her be shy. Don't force her into anything. If we force her, the more pressure we put on her, the more she's going to shy away from speaking at all. So I I told him, I was like, we teach the language. The knowledge is there. As long as the knowledge is there, like she doesn't have to overcome shyness because we don't want her to be shy. That's not up to us. It is on her terms. And I said, let her be shy. It's an awkward age. She has the knowledge. Don't worry about that. And I also told him, I said, because she's a little bit older and she is right at the top, I think she should be retested and move one level up, not just move up with the class, but see if she can fit in well with a higher level. And I think that made him very happy. So that was a very interesting conversation. And then the last person, another mother, and I was really excited to speak to his mother because this is a student who has been with me also for like from the beginning, basically, right after the lockdown. And she always did well, but now really has shown such a, I don't know, hunger for reading. Oh man, I can just give her anything and she was like, she will be the first to take initiative to read. And she devours everything. And at on the test, she didn't make any mistake. She made some spelling mistakes in sentences where we weren't testing. For example, she wrote a sentence where the only answer that we were gauging for was like a yes or no, but then she extended it in like a yes there are, or no it isn't, but then she made a tiny little spelling mistake in the isn't. So she got the points for the yes or no for the correct answer, and then I wrote on the side that she like misspelled a little bit, but I didn't take away any points. So she got 100%, and I was really excited to talk to the mother. I was like, she is so amazing. Wow, wow, wow. And the mother, oh, I'm like, oh my God. The mother was, already knew the result, but we spent 10 minutes talking about how the student was failing in her international school because she was learning science in English and it was difficult. And the mother also told me that the student is learning French at the same time. And yeah, she's not doing well at the international school. And I was like, but she's doing so well here. Can we just, revel in how amazing it is? But no, the conversation constantly got steered into the, yeah, but she's struggling with this. Yeah, but it's not doing well. Yeah, but I think she's lazy. I was like, lazy? She is doing her homework as like one out of two students from 20. She's doing her homework very, very diligently. Almost every lesson, she'll be the first to be like, teacher, I did homework. And I'm like, yes, girl, yes. But no, so we spent 10 minutes talking about how she wasn't absolutely perfect. And I realized I was like, this 7-year-old is learning, she's about to be fluent in 3 languages. And the mother is not just celebrating it. No, the mother is saying how difficult and how lazy she was. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is putting so much pressure on her. And I, at some point, got a little bit annoyed. I was like, this is not cool, mama. This is not nice. So yeah, those were the conversations. And I wasn't expecting the critique or the, I don't know, I guess like unhappiness of the family members of the students who did the best. I thought I was going to have quote unquote difficult conversations with the parents whose student didn't do well. And there were some students who thought some of the exercises were too difficult, so they just halfway through kind of gave up. And I was getting ready for that. And I thought I had to, kind of talk about those. And there's some like performance anxiety with some of the girls. None of the parents showed up. They didn't show up. They didn't meet up with me. And instead I got to listen to the top students of my class being verbally berated because they weren't absolutely perfect, which was just, not good for my spirit. I felt so bad for these students. So yeah, that was the parent teacher meeting. Um I have more tests. So I had a speaking test last week, and another teacher, I'm sharing this class, so another teacher did the writing test. Unfortunately, because the speaking test, the comments take so much longer than the writing test comments. But it does mean that I get another opportunity to see if I can streamline the comments, because this is taking way too long and I am not down for that. I did get a compliment from my manager saying that he really liked the comments that I gave my other class. So I'm thinking of dividing the comments that I usually do into like 3 different sections, where I have the students who are, if you have like the norm, like the I don't know, the minimum result that we're aiming for. The students that fall below, have a couple of comments for those. Students who are on the norm, who are actually on track, who are having a good score, and then the ones who far exceed it. And to make basically like 3 columns of comments for all the students. And then only I need to do is like pick and choose and then tweak some of them, because some students make mistakes in these areas, other students make mistakes in like pronunciation, for example, and other students make have only grammar issues. So I hope to like streamline it that way. So I'll let you know the results. I'll let you know how it goes. Thank goodness this class is so much smaller. There were only 9 students who showed up for the speaking test out of, I think this class is now 11 or 12 students. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's a lot easier than what did I have? 18 that I had last week. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot faster. I'll let you know how it goes. The rest of the week, so it is Monday today, and the rest of the week I have a workshop tomorrow if you want to join. It is about meeting the parents. And I just met the parents and I was surprised with the conversations that I've had. My parents usually are really nice because the stakes are a little bit lower, but I can imagine that other parents who have higher stakes, who, whose children spend a lot more time at the school, whose results are a lot more, have a lot bigger influence in their life. Those parents can be quite different, quite a challenge. And I'm going to do a workshop on how to stay sane and still meet the parents where they're at. That's going to be tomorrow. So check the time zones. I'm going to put the link below. Excuse me. Oh, my throat. I'm going to drink some tea with honey. And I think I'm going to put my mask back on because every week this happens way too often, and not before Christmas. I don't want to be sick at Christmas. So that is this week. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Good luck at work, good luck at school, and I'll see you next time. Bye.